my team, Mike Oldfellas Travels. The last day. Well, it's not actually the last day. Yesterday was the last day. I only came out prospecting for another 2 days. And I spent a couple of days in camp, those really hot days. And I sort of was organising myself a bit to come out here for a bit, but I'm terrible with dates, especially when I'm forecasting time. And I went up to see my friends yesterday, who were staying up the road, and wait for the 40E to kick in. And Joe said to me like, oh, we're on the 40E on the 23rd, and I thought, hang on a minute, it's the 14th today. And then I realised, I said, geez, we only got 9 days. So the decision was made. I came out, I prospected yesterday. Didn't do any good, but it was only a quick prospect. I just needed somewhere to camp for the night and get ready to head away today. So I came around pretty quickly. So I didn't have, no gold in the hand that I was hoping to show you. So this is kind of the finish of this trip. The next trip will be out in the 40E. My friend's been out there. So we'll be out on the 40E in 9 days, or 8 days actually. And it'll be an interesting trip, this 40E. There's a lot of really interesting mines and old, historic mine sites and that out there. So there should be a lot of interest coming out of that side, along with the odd handful of gold, one would hope. But she's pretty good ground. It's we're 153 k's out of Leonora. It's a long way out, and we've always done kind of well, when we get on these 40Es. But anyway, on my way out, I think I might have shown this in a video about 2 years ago. I just can't remember, but this area here, and some of you guys will recognise it, but this area here has gone blue. It went blue in about March over through here, and I see a fella detecting over there, and I'm pretty sure he'll get some gold over there, because that was going to be the area I was going to hit this morning. And I see that there has been some digs over there, but very good looking ground. It's not far out of Leonora, and anyone that's been prospecting up here for a while would have driven down this road surely. But I'm surprised sometimes when I show, things that are close to town that people haven't seen before, and some have. But I have stopped here before. I can't remember whether I ever videoed it, but it's an old mining site and an old... I have no idea if this water was used for cattle or if this water was used, was part of the mining site here, because it was a substantial mine. A few mines punched through that way, big cuts over there. And I know there was quite a bit of gold through here. They've pushed a bit of this ground. And first we'll go over here, but it's just a quick point of interest. And there's another quick mine site that I'll be driving through that I'll just stop and have a look, that I haven't seen before out of the 4.5 years, nearly 5 years I've been coming here. I'm pretty sure this is a bore. It's a pity it's not capped. Good finish. Using a keg. Oh, what does it say? Let's have a look, guys. So 3rd of the 10th 21 HM Sunset. Oh, I might need to Google that up. Oh, there's another one over here. Same again, Sunset 41M. Oh, I wonder if what's the name of the mine here. I'll have to have a look. Maybe that's 41 metre down for the bore, because I'm pretty sure that's a bore. Anyway, there's a couple of old tanks around here, one over there. I'm assuming that's probably come from here. Probably been blown off in one of the storms that's come through. Ended up over there because it looks like it's crashed up against a tree. Oh yeah, that's actually a mine shaft. I can't say I remember that. It is too. It's a mine shaft, but they must have water down there. Or they dug it as a well. Initially. I don't know much about how that works, but yeah, the old windmill's seen better days. Oh, somebody's left the trademark with their hard hat. Looks like an eagle's made himself a nest up there. Where's my foot hurting? But one thing I did notice here, and this is the reason I stopped, is it says near here lies Daniel Hook, a miner aged 23, died of thirst on the 3rd of the 2nd, 1898. Died of thirst, guys. Died of thirst. That's terrible, isn't it? I mean, hard, hot days. Only 23. You know, I've said this a few times, I'm pretty sure, but, you know, these young fellas, I mean, Leonora would have been established then, would have been gazetted by then, I imagine. But, you know, young fellas that come out here, you know, seeking their fortune, because they'll find it. In fact, only about 4 kilometres that way, in 1901, they found let me get this right, I think it was a 47 ounce nugget, or 37 ounce nugget, but they found a big nugget over there that's been recorded. And I think it was 1901. They found a few big nuggets out through here actually. But yeah, what a shame, you know. That fella come out hoping to make a life for himself and suffer the consequences of the terrible conditions up here when it gets hot. You know, we take it for granted now. We carry plenty of water, you know. I've always got, what do I carry, 260 litres of water I carry. No more, 280 litres of water, guys, you know. That's a lot of water if I get stuck somewhere. And I came out with 2 months worth of food, you know, this trip. You know, we're really spoilt these days. And I complain about the heat, but I've got no right to complain, you know. It's very sad. I find it very sad, those sorts of situations. You know, people, good, honest, hard workers just trying to make a life for themselves, and they succumb to the conditions in the environment. Alright, that way. And we'll have a look at this mine. It'll only be a quick visit, but there's a little bit of interest there. And then I'll be into town. You know, team, I'm just driving out. We just had a quick look back there at where that windmill and that grave indicator information, you know, plaque was. And I was just looking out and I'm thinking, you know, like, it's a beautiful morning. And I was just thinking, you know, like, this is rugged country, and let's get out the window, but I mean, this is rugged country, guys, but you know, there's a beauty about it. It's a little bit like the Pilbara, you know. It's sort of, there's something about it that draws you out here, isn't there? I mean, I've said it before. It may sound a little bit hypocritical, you know. I prospect for gold because I need the income. That's my income these days. But if you don't, you know, you can't come out here and prospect for gold just for the money. If you don't love the bush and, you know, you don't enjoy, you know, this remoteness and getting away from the burbs, I hate the cities, always have. To be honest, I suppose I'm not a big people person, to be honest. And I don't mind having a beer and a chitty chat, but around the campfire, you know, as much as anybody. But I'm not one for being in that big city crowds and groups of people with loud music going in the background and everything else that goes on. You know, there's a certain draw about this country out here. It's truly amazing. And there's so many changes, you know, and I enjoy seeing the changes in the ground, probably because of my interest in prospecting, but I have a real interest in geology too. And you see some amazing things out here, but you could argue on the beauty of the area, because I know I stay at some absolutely stunning places on the coast, but you can have some cracker, you know, trips out here, camp trips out here too, guys, and I just love it, you know. I actually miss it when I get back to the city. Once I'm in the city a little bit, and last year when I was sick and I couldn't get out here, and that it was, I think my mental state was suffering, to be honest. You know, but when I got back out here after that period of time, I thought, it was just so wonderful. And once I'm back on the 40E with my friends, it's just going to be crackerjack. I'm just looking forward to this year so much. I hope it's going to be a really good year for all of us, you know.
It's hopeless, but feel like it's all that I need. Something inside of me's broken. I hold on to anything that sets me free. I'm a lost cause. Baby, don't waste your time.
Alright team, we've arrived. I'll just do I don't know, over that way you might be able to see the mine shafts over there. That's part of the historic mine site listing. I don't think this is listed as historic, albeit it's pretty old, but there's there could be 10 acres, 7, 6, 10 acres of scraping through here around the old mines. They push right back over there and then push further out towards the main drag. But this is obviously very, pretty old, but it's not, well, let's call it a more modern operation, albeit, it could be 50, 60 years old. But it was a substantial site. I did have a plan to prospect out through here, but I run out of time. I wasn't very good with dates and how close it was getting to our 40E, but geez, that's a fair old camp. Some old D-cell batteries there. What have we got here? Old head gaskets and that. They're certainly it's not modern stuff, that's for sure. So this was a form of dry blower. Head going here, and this is more what sort of gives me a feel for she's a pretty old site. I'm not sure how old the sites have to be called historic. Yeah, this is a bit of a makeshift house you'd had. There's the tumbler. It's I don't know how that would have worked. I've got no mining experience with this sort of mining. It's a tyre that they've put in there and bolted into. Looks like she might have been a bit of a homemade jobby. So they've made this ramp thingy here, which no doubt they'd grab their scrapings and drive them up the ramp and dump them into the tumbler, the dry blow or whatever they call it. Oh well, somebody's taken to a bit of this gear with a blowtorch. Must have been a bit of a chute thing that come in here and she went down onto there, and there's a bit of the chute down there, another bit of the chute over there, and then they did what they needed to do. Quite a big concern, big tumbler going around, so I'm not sure how that works. Looks like they might have a bit of water pumping in there. There's a big dam over there. I'm assuming maybe that bore would have pumped water into the dam, and look how far it pushes out. It's massive. It's a massive area they've cut here, but it's old, you can tell. Along with the pocket. Oh, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Along with the oh, I must be getting old. Along with the pockets. Oh, look, along with a bit of gold that we'll find out there anyway. That's about it for now. The old fella is signing out. Beautiful day. Woof. Yeah, mate.